If you go into the new year being the same you will not accomplish anything. You will not get to where you want to be. You will relive the same shitty year over and over again. What do your patterns say? Your patterns are always going to try to live through. They're always going to keep coming at you. They're not ever going to stop until you make them stop. But if you just say, I'm going to set new goals this year, new me, and you keep doing the same shit, you're going to get the same shitty results. That's just how the game works. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to a brand new episode of Dieting from the Inside Out. If you're new here, welcome to the show. My name is Jared Hamilton, and I am pumped to come at you with this episode that we have today. I haven't done a solo episode in a hot minute, and I think this is a really good time to do one because what we're going to get into today on today's episode is basically how to actually win the new year. Because at the time of filming this right now, we're about a week out from Christmas, so everyone's kind of coming to a head with the rest of their December and 2022 stuff. And a lot of people are gearing up for a really big 2023. And I think it's really important to have like that talk, right? The end of the year, going into the new year talk, because I am tired of seeing people live the same shitty life over and over and over again, right? A lot of people they'll say they've been trying to lose weight for years, or they've been goal setting for years, or whatever the case is, but they haven't been getting the success with that. They've relived like the same shitty 6 weeks over and over and over again. Or the whole pattern of, we know everyone starts off strong in January, then by January 7th, falling off and all that kind of stuff. So I want to take a little bit different of approach with this with you. So that's what we're going to get into on today's episode. And it's just me. I don't have a guest today. I just really I was thinking about, what do I want to come at you and talk to you about, especially this time of the year. And this is kind of what I feel is kind of be coming through me, if you want to call it that. But before we get into all of that, big thank you to the sponsors of the show. Sponsor number one is Flex Pro Meals, because we all know, especially with this time of the year, things are just crazy, unpredictable. And I don't know if your life is anything like mine, but that really doesn't change whatever time of year it is, between things in my life like work, travel, just family stuff. Like I can't even imagine how half of you guys do this with like kids and soccer games and school and all of that stuff. So it's one of those things where if life isn't very convenient and times are unprecedented, or you find yourself stopping in gas stations all the time, or living in drive-thrus, or always like going hours and hours and hours without eating because you just are on the go, you may consider something like Flex Pro, because it just makes the convenient side of this super, super doable. And it's going to save you a lot more money than going through a drive-thru. So because the meals are already ready to made, they're made by a chef, they get delivered to your door. They call themselves the Amazon Prime of like meal delivery services. And like I said, it's going to save you even more money than having to stop through a drive-thru. So if that's something you're interested in, definitely check out their menu at flexpromeals.com. There's a link below as well. You can also use my code HamiltonTrained, and it will save you an additional 20% off at checkout, which is pretty cool. Next, our second sponsor is First Form. I'm wearing one of their shirts if you're watching the YouTube video. Actually just had a call with my friends at First Form today. Guys, it's one of those things, we all know that supplements are not the end all be all, and there is a whole food option for almost every supplement that you could take, because it's called a supplement for a reason. It's to supplement where you are not getting the things you need with food, whether that be you're not getting enough protein in, whether that means you're having a hard time with inflammation and you need something like a fish oil because you're not getting in enough from actual fish, whether you're like me and suck at getting in your protein or your plants and fruits and vegetables and you need something along those lines. At the end of the day, if you're missing those spots in actual food, supplements are the next go-to. And I want to make sure that you're getting the right stuff. I want to make sure that you're not wasting your money on stuff that's not accurate, that's not safe, that's made in someone's basement, that's not going to help you very much. So that's why I am so happy with that. I've partnered with First Form a year or two ago. I can't remember how long it's been now, but it's what I take. It's what we recommend for clients, because I want you to be able to go and get the right stuff for you, where you're not wasting your money on, stuff that's not actually helping you and whatnot. So definitely check that out. There's a link below there. If you use my code, it's going to save you some free priority shipping, which is pretty dope because Amazon has us all spoiled. But that is it for the sponsor part of the show. Now let's get into the actual nuts and bolts of how to actually win the new year and kind of reflections around this current year. That way we can ultimately change our lives. If you're watching the YouTube video, I do have notes today because I have a tendency to ramble on and get on tangents, and I don't want to do that to you. So if you're watching the YouTube video, I do have my notes in front of me because I really have today's talk broken down into really 3 sections. Okay, I have the first section is what I'm calling reflection. The second section, what I'm calling intention setting. And then the third is things to know and wrap your head around before the new year starts. Because ultimately, we can't really make better decisions about this coming year until we reflect on what happened this year. Okay. And then in the world of goal setting, we really need to sit down and understand on how to set goals and intentions going into, let's say 2023 in this case. But then also we have to get your expectations in a really good place. That's why I have the third part of this, where the stuff that you have to wrap your head around and know going into the year, things that a lot of times people forget and things that people really fall short on, which is no wonder everyone lives the same shitty year over and over again. So I don't want this to be a super long episode, so let's get into it. So let's start talking about the reflection side of things, because reflection is part of the thinking process, right? Like thinking is simply asking and answering your own questions. So in the world of reflecting, question number 1, you have to ask yourself, especially going into the new year, is, well, what went well this past year? Right? Like what went well in 2022? Because you have to understand that the quality of so much of the solutions you get are based on the quality of the questions you ask yourself. So you have to ask yourself, well, what went well last year? What went well in 2022? Because now we can do more of those things. Was it that you finally were consistent? Was it that you finally hit your rock bottom and now you can actually go to change your life? What was it? Right? Don't just like arbitrarily set bullshit goals going into the next year. We need to have reflection time and actually sit down and go, okay, let's reflect on this past year. So question number 1 to ask yourself is, what went well? Write that down. So now we can do more of that because we have momentum with that. Momentum is everything. So we need to have momentum going into the new year, but going, okay, well, what went well last year? Right? What did I actually crush with? Okay. Question number 2 to ask yourself is the antagonist to that. Well, where did you fall short? What didn't go well? Guys, I'm the king of simplicity. Like, that's my one superpower, is we have to make all of this super simple. So these questions aren't very like super crazy out there. We have to get the answers we need. What went well? And then what didn't go well? Where did you fall short? Did you do good with, like, let's say, I don't know, your consistency in nutrition, but you sucked with training? Was it that you did good when things were okay, when things were less stressful, but then you lost it when life kicked you a curveball? Did you lose it when things just went sideways? Did you start getting your inner work started this year, but you ended up sabotaging later on in the year, right? Where did you fall short? You have to also ask yourself these questions in a very emotionally neutral place, high levels of equanimity with this. You don't want to go into this reflection conversation with yourself highly with your emotions all over the place, I should say, with you like almost like triggered going into it. Well, like, I did good with this, and then, oh fuck, what's wrong with me? I'm worthless. Like, we don't want to get into that. Okay. What went well? What didn't go well? Because depending on what didn't go well, that may be what we need to focus more on in 2023. What didn't go well? We need to bring up those parts. It's not, guys, I want you to think of it this way. Don't think about going into 2023 with raising your ceiling. Your ceiling, your best days are already good enough. Your best days are already badass as hell. We got to make your worst days a little bit better. We just got to raise your floor. It's not a matter of going from like the best possible day where you're kicking ass, taking names, and then trying to make that 10% better. It's like your worst days. We just got to raise the floor on that. And your life will never be the same, because I always say we don't want this to be like an adult roller coaster where it's these huge high highs and these super horrible lows, like a world record roller coaster. We want this like a kiddie roller coaster where it's like not very big highs and not very small lows and not very crazy highs and not very, torrential lows, things like that. So that's question number 2 you have to ask yourself is, where do you fall short? Where did things not go your way? Where did you lose it? If you're being honest with yourself, where did you not do so well this past year? All right. Question number 3, knowing what you know now, knowing with what you gathered from question 1 and 2, what would you do differently? What would you do differently if you could go back? If like we reset, 8 months ago, 6 months ago, 3 months ago, what would you do differently? right? This is where we really get specific on thinking, where we, sorry if you in the YouTube video keep seeing me take my headphones on and off. I have a ceiling fan that out of nowhere has been making some weird noises, and I don't want it like clicking on the recording. So if you keep seeing me take my headphones on and off, but honestly, what would you do differently? Right? In my life, like with looking back with the goals that I have, not necessarily weight loss related, I would have really worked on my focus more. For me, knowing what I know now, where I fell short is there's a few times, like a handful of times this past year, I got distracted. I got overwhelmed and I didn't focus as much. There's a few areas that I let my own self-care go south, and then my mental bandwidth didn't last as long, or I got burned out. I should have put a little bit more things in place where I didn't get as burned out or as mentally exhausted, I should say. Right? Those are a couple things for me based on what I did well, what I didn't do as well, and then what I would do differently. Okay. I want you to think of it the same thing. Or the same way, I should say. Question number 1, 2, 3, number 4. This is a very black and white answer. Did you do what you said you would do? This is two-sided. This is from the outcomes that you set. When you said, I want to do this. I want to lose the weight. I want to make the money. I want to do this, go on this trip. I want to, whatever the goal you set. Did you do it? Yes or no? Okay. Then the caveat to that is why or why not? Or if it was more what I prefer, action-based goals, where if you said, well, one of my goals this year is to get my nutrition in check, to get my health under control, to start doing inner work, to start going to the gym consistently. So then my question is, did you do it? Then the caveat, why or why not? Because the things you have to understand is we have to bring massive amounts of awareness to our ability to do the things that we said we would do, right? If I fell short on my goals, now I can get clear on, well, why didn't it happen? Where did it go south? Oh, that's a spot I need to work on, right? So from the outcome perspective, again, we're doing this emotionless. We're not doing this with like remorse and regret and, what's wrong with me? We're doing this from like a very logical and data-driven place, right? We're looking at it from the standpoint of, well, did I accomplish the goal I set out? No, I didn't. Well, why? Oh, I set the goal too high. I set the goal that was not practical. Or, I had this thing happen in my family that kind of took a curveball. Oh, I got a divorce. Oh, my kid went through some shit, right? Is it circumstantial where life hit you like that? Or was it, I literally gave up? Or, I didn't keep consistent because my motivation went south? Or is it, I based my plan off of my best days and not my worst days? Is it, I tried to do this by myself again for the 10th year in a row, and I knew I should have hired a coach this whole time, or something like that, right? We have to look at, did I accomplish the goals I wanted to? But then the caveat is, from the action standpoint, did I do the things that I said I would do? It's a big deal. It's a big difference when you're looking at this stuff going, okay, yes or no, did I do this? Because the problem is ignorance is bliss, where if you don't know, if you're like, well, I kind of did what I wanted to do, I don't really want to look at it, then we don't know what we need to course correct for. Do you see? And then the final question you have to ask yourself under reflection is, what do we need to let go of? This is one I've been talking to some clients in our group about, is what things do you need to let go of? I think a lot of people need to let go of, let's say, the speeds of things. We need to let go of trying to do things as fast as possible. I would argue and say we need to let go of the actual outcome itself, and we need to let go of like, I need to lose weight right now versus, well, what actions do I need to put in place, and I'll let the weight loss happen when it's supposed to, right? What do we need to let go of? Do we need to let go of perfectionism? Do we need to let go of these old mentalities and identities that have held us back? The past 12 days, I did Jared's 12 Days of Christmas, and in addition to 12 days of giveaways, I did 12 days of trainings that were all cumulative, where they built on the last one, and it was all about identity, and it was all about how to become the version of yourself that gets all the things that you want. Not how do I get, it's who do I have to become that gets. And a big part of identity is unlearning and letting go of these old things, the old story of I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, I'm a binger, I've never been successful, I'm a perfectionist, I'm an all or nothing person, it has to be this way. Well, those things don't work with this new way of doing things. You can't do that anymore. So we need to also sit down under the reflection time and go, what do I need to let go of? Because again, you can't keep getting you can't get new results running on old software. It doesn't work like that. So under this first section, though, I'll recap it really quickly. Under reflection, before you go setting goals and intentions into the new year, what went well? Where did you fall short? What would you do differently knowing what you know now? Did you do what you said you would do? That from an outcome perspective, from the goals you wanted to do or wanted to accomplish, and from the actions you said you were going to execute on. And then lastly, what do we need to let go of? Because if you go into the new year being the same you, holding on to the same old bullshit, you will not accomplish anything. You will not get to where you want to be. You will relive the same shitty year over and over again. This is why within the reflection side of things, we have to look at patterns. Pattern recognition is such a huge skill set for you to have. It's one of the biggest things that we do as coaches is we look at people's patterns going through their journey and go, ooh, this is becoming a thing. Or looking at someone's, let's say someone joins coaching today. Well, we want to know what's happened the last 7 times they've tried to diet so we can pick up these patterns. I would say the same thing to you is, what do your patterns say? Because your patterns are always going to try to live through. They're always going to keep coming at you. They're not ever going to stop until you make them stop. But if you just say, oh, I'm going to set new goals this year, new me, and you keep doing the same shit, you're going to get the same shitty results. And that's just how the game works. Next, let's get into intention setting. The reason I like to use the word intention, don't get me wrong, I don't have any issues with saying the word goals or goal setting. A lot of times this time of the year, you'll see people who will either go crazy goal setting or they'll actually talk shit about goals. They'll actually go, oh, well, statistically, most New Year's resolutions don't work. Goals don't work. I actually just don't believe in setting goals every year. And I'm like, okay, I don't hang out with those kind of people because those kind of people are usually stagnant and those kind of people are usually unhappy. And that's the other thing right now. I made a post about this on my story the other day is right around now, you have to be really careful who you listen to in the world of achievement in this kind of stuff. Because I'll be honest, there's a lot of people who have never gotten the thing that you're trying to get who will tell you how to get it. I know a lot of broke people right now, I know a lot of broke people telling me how to make money. I know a lot of fat and overweight people who are going to tell you how to get fit and how to lose weight and how to get healthy. I know a lot of unhappy people who are going to try to tell you how to create happiness. It's a very treacherous road that you got to be careful because there's a lot of people who don't have what you want, who you would never want to trade lives with, who are going to try to give you advice and you cannot let them in your head. It's hard because most of them are friends and family who are very, to be honest, well-intentioned. But I'm telling you, some of the worst advice I've ever been given is from people who just care about me. You know, if I'm being honest, and it's not that they mean ill harm, but I have to take it with a grain of salt and look at it through the lens of like, do I want to change lives with them on this? If someone's trying to give me money advice, would I trade lives with them when it comes to finances? If someone's trying to give you weight loss advice, would you trade lives with them in the world of weight loss? If someone's trying to give you marriage or relationship advice, would you trade spots with them in their relationship? And if the answer is no, then you shouldn't take advice from them, point blank. That's just the way this goes. So know that going into when you're setting these goals. So I'm starting to get a little sidetracked. This is why my notes are a thing. Let's talk about intention setting. What do you intend to do in the new year? What do you intend on doing? This can be from an outcome perspective, like what you want to happen, as well as what I think is more important. What are you intending to do from the action standpoint, these action-based goals? So number one question, these are all questions you have to ask yourself because I don't want to sit here and tell you what to do. I want to more than anything, tell you what to think, if that makes sense. So, number one, what do you intend on doing going into the new year? Right? What do you want to do? Like goal wise, what do you want? Because here's the truth. If you do not know what you want, nothing else matters. It blows me away. We'll have people apply for coaching and I'll go, okay, cool. What's the goal? And they go, I don't know. You tell me. I'm like, that's not how this works. Like I'm the blueprint. We give you the blueprint and the roadmap. I can't tell you what you want. But here's the thing. If you don't know what you want, not only can you not satisfy you, but no one else can satisfy you. You have to know what it is you want. So you need to get crystal clear on what it is you want. And I'll be honest, most people have no idea what they actually want. So you need to sit down and go, what do I intend on doing this year? What do I actually want? It can be on all levels. What do I actually want? And then tie your heartfelt reasons like, well, why do I want it? What are the reasons that do I have wanting to accomplish this or wanting to do this thing? Get really clear on what you want, but don't just assume it's the same as last year. A lot of people I've noticed have a lot of guilt and shame around their goals and intentions changing. What they used to want, they don't want anymore. Or what was their 10 out of a 10 is now like a 5 out of 10. So this is why I think every year, it doesn't have to be in January. It could be on your birthday. It could be on April. It could be whenever. Like you don't have to do this in January. I know some people who they don't set New Year goals in January. They set new goals every year on their birthday, right? It's just a different time. Most of mine I do annually around January, just because I like the vibe of the new year, because the new year is a lot of times for a lot of people is mental reset point. So there's nothing wrong with setting new targets and goals and things like that. But I can tell you right now, I haven't even done mine yet because it's still December, right? At the time of recording this, it's December 20th. I still got 10 days, 11 days left in this year. So I still got work to do. I don't want you waiting to become the new you. If you're still on track and on target and still executing your 2022 goals, wait to do this until 2022 is finished, right? But what I'm saying is you have to still sit down and go, well, do I want what I thought I wanted? Do I want what I wanted last year? And actually sit down and go, what do I actually want? Do I want this, or am I going after this because this is what mom and dad wanted, or because of what my mentor wanted, or whatever the case is? You have to get clear on what you want and making sure it's actually what it is you want to do and what you want to go after. Because a lot of times we don't know, but a lot of times our desire for what we want changes, but we feel almost married to the old desire. Hopefully if that makes sense. Okay. Number 2, why is that? This is my big one. You're going to hear me talk about this a lot in today's episode. Why is this year going to be different? It's a really, really difficult question, especially if you're listening to this and your, let's say, past years of success have been shit. They haven't been very good. You're always restarting in January. Every January, you look the same as you did last year. Every time your new year, new me, the old you fucks it up and nothing really changes. So the question you have to ask yourself is this: why is this year going to be different? We ask clients this all the time. Whenever someone's applying for coaching who has gone through different plans and all these things, I'm like, okay, well, how's this time going to be different? Right? I know why it's going to be different because we're the one coaching. But let's say someone says, oh, well, I normally, don't show up for myself when I don't want to. And I go, well, how's it going to be different when we're the one writing your plan? And then, because if you can't tell me why this year is going to be different, it's not going to be. Think about it this way. Would you date someone who has, let's say, a shitty track record with like cheating on their partner, and they're like, no, I've changed, but they can't tell you how they've changed? Would you listen to them? I probably not. You probably wouldn't believe it. There's a saying is in our actions is, I can't hear the words that you're saying because your actions are too loud. Because if you can't tell me how your actions will be different this year, they're not going to be, like, point blank. Like, I don't mean to sound like an asshole, but that's just the truth. If you cannot explain how this year is going to be different than last year and your shortcomings, if last year went to hell in a handbasket, I would go, well, what did 2021 look like? Oh, it was shit too. What about 2020? Oh, it was shit too. Oh, every year we have an excuse to why our results went to the trash can. Oh, we're always blaming circumstances. Oh, something always comes up. Do you see where I'm getting at? Where if you can't explain why this is going to be different, how things are going to be different, how you are a different person, I'm sorry, you're not going to be. It's just, again, how the game works. You have to be able to ask yourself, why is this time going to be different? Number 3, where do you always fall short? And where are you going to course correct? So this may feed a little bit off of the question from the reflection section of where did you fall short last year? So looking at your goals this year, where do you foresee yourself falling short, and how are you going to course correct? You see what I'm saying? Where, let's say, you don't show up for yourself very well when you lose motivation. Cool. So how are you going to course correct when you lose motivation? It's these very simple things, because it's kind of like what I call the if this then what game. If this happens, what always happens, then what are you going to do? And then that way you're prepared when that thing happens. This is how we get ahead of this thing. This is being very on the offensive. It's just like it's why a football team watches their opponent's film, is so they can see patterns, recognize what always happens, and create a plan to stop it from happening and win ultimately. So my question for you is, going into the new year, where do you always fall short? And how are you going to course correct? You can decide this right now. You're a creature of habit. You have this breadcrumb trail on where you've fallen short and where you fucked up and how the last several years have not gone well. So knowing what you know about you now, looking into the future of, all right, here are my goals and intentions for 2023. Where do you foresee yourself falling short? Cool. How do you plan on overcoming that? Go ahead and make those decisions right now, because it goes back to one of my favorite sayings is, stay ready so you don't have to get ready. And then now you're prepared for when that moment happens. Okay. And lastly, number 4, we have to reverse engineer it, because I am all about, don't get me wrong, I am all about setting huge, crazy goals and stretching yourself and all this kind of stuff. But ultimately it comes down to our actions. And we cannot control our outcomes ultimately, but we can always control our actions, because we don't want to just set these outlandish goals and just work really hard and then be frustrated that we didn't get there. Set the goal that you want to set, right? Whatever it is that you want to do. If you want to lose the weight, if you want to get stronger, if you want to fix your relationship with food, whatever it may be. But before you start executing, reverse engineer that bad boy so you know what you have to do on a daily, weekly, and monthly basis, right? It's really simple. Let's say your goal is to save $10,000 this year. Well, how often do you get paid? Oh, every 2 weeks. Well, how much do you have to save out of every 2 weeks paycheck to save $10,000 at the end of the year? Boom. Well, let's say whatever number that is. Well, actually, let's do the math real quick to make this even easier. I'm just dropping stuff, aren't I? All right. So let's say your goal is to save, because I can't do math in my head with a damn. Let's say you want to save $10,000 by the end of the year. Right. And then we'll translate this to weight loss. Well, we'll just make it easy. $10,000 divided by 12 months. That means you need to save $833.33 each month. Okay. So then my question would be, okay, what do we have to do? So on a monthly basis, you save the $833.33 each month. What do we need to do? Let's say you have it automated where you have it automatically every, a little over $400 each paycheck, go pull out into the separate account. Boom, problem solved. Well, let's say you don't have $833 of expendable or of dispensable income every month. Well, then what do we need to downsize on? Do we need to sell the nice car and get a little bit more affordable car? Do we need to quit going out as much? Do we need to stop drinking alcohol as much? Do we need to maybe cancel a couple subscriptions that we don't utilize? Do we need to maybe sell some bullshit we don't need to have anymore? Right? But imagine if I said, no, my goal is to save 10 grand this year, and I didn't have any plan, or I didn't reverse engineer it at all. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm going to save money. I'm going to save the 10 grand. Then at the end of the year, not save money or save like a couple $100 and be pissed. Actually reverse engineer the goal to an outcome, or from an outcome to an action that you do on a daily, weekly, and monthly basis. Then audit those. This is how we crush goals, right? That was just a finance goal, for example. But let's say it's weight loss. Let's say your goal is I want to lose 50 pounds, right? We can't control. You guys know I'm not a fan of timelines, and I'm not a fan of specific things like that. Because there's so many nuances, we can't control that. But let's say your goal is to have a transformation where you're fitting into whatever size pants or whatever size whatevers. Well, cool. What do we have to do? Oh, we need to fix your relationship with food, and we need to get in a calorie deficit consistently. Okay, cool. Well, that means if your relationship with food is fucked, that's our first line of defense. We have to fix that first. Well, what do we need to do to fix your relationship with food? Oh, we got to quit demonizing food. We got to start having every day the foods that we love in moderation. We have to bring up our calories so we're not starving ourselves anymore. We have to be going out of our way to have the foods that we used to restrict so the binge eating stops, right? It's those kind of things where you get to the point where you go, okay, I'm going to go every day and have 3 cookies in my calories every single day. And after a month, I'm going to reevaluate. And then then we fix your relationship with food. Then within the weight loss side of things, it's like, okay, well, what do I need to do? All right, well, then for me to lose, what's good weight loss progress? Let's say right around a pound a week. Cool. Let's play it safe. Let's say half a pound a week on average down over the next 6 to 12 months. Cool. Well, that means I need to be in a small deficit. So I need to be eating like 1,800. This is just arbitrary numbers. Let's say for you, that means 1,800 to 1,900 calories a day and 100 grams of protein a day. And then 3 workouts a week. Boom. Now you have tangible steps of your goal. Instead of being, I need to lose 50 pounds this year, the goal is, did I eat my calories? Did I hit my protein? Did I get my strength training in? Did I fix my relationship with my food? Am I working on that? Because then you can check boxes and go, yes, I did this. Yes, I did this. Yes, I did this. Because here's the truth. We cannot control outcomes, but we can always control actions. Then ironically, actions always correlate to outcomes. Right? I cannot control how long it will take you to lose 50 pounds. I can't control if someone can even lose 50 pounds, but we can control what our actions are doing, because a lot of times people may not, let's say you want to lose 50 pounds, but you're happy at 30 pounds because we lost weight the right way. This is why we're not married to certain outcomes like a poundage that you want to reach or lose, because there are so many times you can't control what your body weighs, but you're still losing fat, for example. So this is why you don't want to just set these goals that are great. We have to reverse engineer them to get to a point where you're like, okay, what do I need to do this on the daily basis? And then if you don't know how to do that, reach out, because I got free resources that'll help. So hopefully that makes sense. Then lastly, things to know that you need to wrap your head around before you do all this and before you start executing in the new year. Number 1, you have to know you won't want to show up for yourself. You have to understand that going into the new year, you are fired up as fuck right now. It's no wonder that so many people start off strong in January, and then it's like it used to go to like April, but now it's like by January 8th, the people are done. You have to understand that you have to make sure that you're going to keep showing up when you aren't going to want to. You have to make that decision now. You go to work when you don't want to. You shower when you don't want to. You go to bed when you don't want to. You take care of your kids when you don't want to. You pay your bills when you don't want to. It's because you know what it's going to cost you if you don't do those things. This is no different. You need to wrap your head around what's going to happen at scale if I don't start showing up for myself. So which means like, know the date you normally fall off. Look at your patterns of the past New Year's. Where do you always fall off? Oh, mid-January, by February. Oh, you make it till June. Cool. Well, we need to put a plan in place around when you always do fall off. That way you don't fall off this time. Or if you do, it's only for like 20 minutes, then you're back on track. All right. Know that you won't want to show up for yourself. You may be fired up now, but as soon as January 1 hits and you started on a goal, you just became a statistic. So what is it? 90% of most people by then fail and fall off. You don't have to be that, but you have to get your expectations in check to where you don't do it this time. But if it happens every time the last 10 years, it's going to try it again this year. Just keep that in mind. Number 2, we already touched on it, but if you cannot explain to me how this time is going to be better, how this year is going to be your year, how you're different this year, it's not going to be. It's plain and simple. If you cannot logically and like an actual action step in a mental side of things on how this is going to be different this year, it's not going to be. That's just the way this game works. Okay. Number 3, this is a big one to understand. Your unconscious mind, your subconscious, our psychology is going to gravitate to what's most familiar, right? Psychology teaches us that our mind and our nervous system gravitate to what's most familiar, which means most people gravitate to laziness, giving up, quitting, mediocrity. And I need you to expect those things. This is why we sabotage, right? If you have a decade or years in the past of failure, you're unconsciously going to drift that way. This is why sabotage is a thing. This is why you have to wrap your head around that. You're naturally going to fall that way. Most people are naturally lazy. Most people are naturally mediocre. Most people are naturally ready to quit. Most people don't show up for themselves when they don't feel like it. So you have to be ready when those things hit you, because that's what's going to happen. It's guaranteed. It's physiology and it's psychology. It is how unconscious patterns work. So, which means we have to have our plan in place, knowing that ahead of time, right? You're not surprised when your gas tank goes empty because you just know that's what happens when you're running a car. The gas tank goes empty. So around a quarter of a tank, you fill up. It's no different when these things happen. Okay. Now you have a game plan. Those are the 3 sections that I wanted to talk about: reflection, intention setting, and then things to know and wrap your head around. Now that's your game plan. But now if you're sitting here and you're like, well, Jared, that's a lot. I don't really know if I can do that. And if you want to have a high level of accountability, if you want to have a tailored game plan, and if you want to have what I would call a turnkey system that is guaranteed to work with you and your life and your goals and your habits, this is where coaching comes in, right? I'm not making this a big coaching push, but I am telling you right now, those 3 big sections, the reflection, the intention setting, the things you need to know and wrap your head around, all those questions, all of that shit, if that feels like a lot to you and you're like, fuck, that's a lot to swallow. I don't know if I can do that. I don't know how this year's going to be different. I don't know how to set myself up when sabotage of being lazy and mediocrity and giving up hits. I don't know how to do any of that. I don't know how to set these goals and what's practical and what's not and how to make it sustainable. I get it. And if that's you, and you want the simplest and easiest and the best way to fast track your results in the most sustainable way possible, that is exactly why we have our coaching program that has proven to work. So if you want a high level of accountability, a high level of support, and honest to God, I guarantee that this does work, and it's a complete turnkey system that is individualized to you, where all you do is show up and do the damn thing and follow the plan, the results always happen, then that's what coaching's for. And I'll leave a link below if you want to apply for coaching. And I like to reward action takers. And because you're coming from the podcast, I'm giving away a few extra things for those that get accepted into the coaching program from the podcast. So I'll leave a link below if that's you. because you can go right to my staff's calendar. Because before we ever do anything with coaching, we want to learn about you. We want to get a good history of what's going on and understand your goals and what it is you actually want. And then we want to make sure that you understand how coaching works as well. So your expectations are on point. So nothing is a surprise to you when coaching actually gets started. And we want to make sure you feel good about everything too. This is not about let's sign everyone up with a credit card. We only work with people we know we can help, which is how we guarantee results. It's why our process is seamless. So, and that's that. But otherwise, I appreciate you tuning in for today's episode. I know I haven't done a solo episode in a minute, so I tried to keep it a little bit shorter. We're about 35 minutes versus like an hour and 10. But otherwise, I appreciate the fuck out of you. Thank you so much for being here. I'll leave some other links below, like my free courses and some other resources, my socials, things like that. But otherwise, that's how to conquer 2023 and crush in the new year. But otherwise, I appreciate you listening. Be sure and check out the YouTube if you like this content and you want to watch the YouTube video. That's there as well. Be sure to subscribe wherever you're listening to. I love you, and I will talk to you next time.